Welcome to the WDW Fan Zone Show. This is episode 500. Well, it's officially episode 500. It's not the 500th episode we've done. We're way beyond that. As I mentioned in another episode, that we had started out as the WDW Fan Zone podcast, and there were offshoots of that. So we're closer to 1,000 than we are to 500, but we'll go with it since that's what the official number is here for the WDW Fan Zone show. And tonight I am joined by John, Darlene, Kurt, Jess, and Lottie, and I am Stuart. And we're going to get into all the big changes of Walt Disney World regarding Genie Plus to Lightning Lane Single Pass and Lightning Lane Multi Pass. But first, Jess has a lot of news for you guys, so hang in there. We'll get back to the topic of the show shortly. And I know you guys want to hear the great news Jess has to share with us. So take it away, Jess.
Thank you so much. All right, so it's the topic of the show today. Genie Plus is being replaced with Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Lightning Lane Single Pass. Essentially, what will change is that you can reserve Lightning Lanes ahead of your vacation. The Multi-Pass will have you choose one park per day, up to 3 experiences and times in one theme park. And then after using your first selection, you can make additional selections and you can use different parks. The single pass will let you choose up to 2 attractions per day. And this would be for like the higher tier attractions that used to be for individual Lightning Lane. This will all take effect on July 24th. And of course, since it's the topic, they will go into much more detail in a little bit. Rock and Roller Coaster has finally reopened at Hollywood Studios, and it is almost a month earlier than expected. Yay! Eat to the Beat concert series is posted for Epcot Food and Wine Festival. And I will go through every single show. I'm just kidding. No, there are some new artists as well as the usual. So check out the schedule to see when your favorite bands will be there. Dollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios is confirmed to be coming back this winter on select nights from November 9th to December 21st from 7:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. 5 hours. I think that's changed from last year. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't do Jollywood Nights last year. Tickets will cost between $159 to $179 per person plus tax, and they will be available starting July 10th. If you will be staying at a Disney Resort hotel on the night of your event, then you can start booking today. Look out for ride closures happening now and coming soon. Test Track is currently closed, and we do not have a reopening date for that yet. Country Bears will reopen on July 17th, and Peter Pan's flight will be closed from July 8th through August 21st for refurbishment. Critter Co-op in Frontierland has reopened with more Tiana's Bayou Adventure merchandise. Tiana's Bayou General is also open, and that is as you exit the ride. Find ride merchandise in both of these stores. Pass holders are getting a resort discount this fall for most Sunday through Thursday nights from October 6th to November 21st and November 24th through December 25th. Savings are up to 40% off when you book by August 28th. Don't forget to check park hours before planning your trip and check again once you arrive to see if they've changed. And the Walt Disney World area is expecting summer weather, so don't forget the ponchos and common sense when it comes to visiting the parks. Stay hydrated and well sunscreened. And that's all I have today.
Thank you so much, Jess. And you mentioned common sense.
Yes.
I have seen plenty of people in the parks without common sense.
Oh, yes. Well, I just mean don't go out in a lightning storm. Find cover. Yes, the park is more empty when it's raining, but when it's lightning, that can be dangerous and people die. So, think about that.
I witnessed people running in Epcot when the lightning bolts were coming into the lake, and they're running around, watching them. I'm like, are you nuts?
I know. We are the lightning capital of the world.
Yes, we are.
Look at the visitor.
I have a little visitor. Can you say hi? This is my 2-year-old. She loves roller coasters now.
Ooh,
nice.
Right? We love Barnstormer, Goofy's roller coaster. And now it's time for you to go to bed. So I am off. See you real soon.
Thank you so much, Jess. Have a
Good night,
great
Jess.
rest of the week. Happy 4th.
Happy
Happy
4th,
weekend.
Hi, Jess.
Bye.
Bye. I love when the kids come to visit,
Cute.
except my own.
She forgot to. Did she mention recently about the Disney Springs has the Flavors of Florida back this year?
Well, why don't you mention it?
It started July 1st to August 11th. They're going to have a bunch.
I muted Darlene just for the fun of it. No, go ahead, Darlene. I'm kidding.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. You can start.
No. Go ahead.
Nope, I'm done.
All right. Well, you can look it up online and find it.
I already had it. It was right there, but you don't want them to know, so it's okay. They can look it up.
We don't want our listeners and viewer to know anything. So tonight's topic, did it come as a surprise to everybody that out of the blue they said, okay, Genie Plus is going bye-bye, here comes Lightning Lane, multi-pass, and single pass? Or are you guys saying like it's about time, it's long overdue? And will anything
I'm
change?
worried about it.
Okay, what's your concerns, Kurt?
Well, luckily it's only 7 days in advance, but the last time we had something like this, my concern was people buying it 60 days out, because you could buy it 60 days out back in the day, and then booking like a value resort, booking all their stuff for a week, and then backing out on the value resorts. So in other words, they just booked the value resort so that they could make their reservations. So maybe they were coming in on Monday, but they booked the value resort so they could start making the reservations on Sunday, so that someone else that was coming in on Monday couldn't actually book those same results, those same attractions. So, but with it only being 7 days out this time, you're not going to be able to book and then drop it. So
Right, and I
hopefully
think
that
that
makes
was
it a
done
little
on
bit
purpose.
better. Yeah.
I think that was purposely done so they'd have to, I think maybe with that in mind, that people will book a resort, a value resort, and then cancel their reservation. But you would think they'd have
Exactly.
safeguards in place that if they cancel the reservation, they're going to lose their I was almost called a fast pass, that Lightning Lane multi-pass reservations or single pass, whatever they did. Well, let's explain just briefly. I'll explain briefly what Genie Plus is, and you guys can step in because it's like I've never purchased Genie Plus for good reason. I don't like it. Now, what I had heard was, well, Genie Plus was a system where I think the day of, or you couldn't do it in advance. You had to do it the day of, like at 7 a.m. Book your, purchase it and make your reservations. And then when you couldn't get one, you'd be on your phone all day and make another one. Now, supposedly, and I heard this, I know I'm getting off track here, that the reason they got rid of Genie Plus was they did a lot of marketing research, and guests were saying, we're on our phones all day because we can't get the rides we want. So we're constantly looking to see if they become available to make that reservation, or we're looking for other rides to reserve with the Genie Plus that we purchased. And it's just, they were spending all day on their phone rather than enjoying the parks. That was the biggest complaint
They're still going
that
to
I
be doing
heard
that.
that came out of it. I'm sorry?
They're still going to be doing that, because as soon as because you can book 3. So you got 1 at the top tier, 2 at the next tier. But as soon as you ride that, as soon as you link into that first attraction, boom, you can book anything off of any
The
tier.
complaint was, let's say they wanted Frozen, and I don't know, and they couldn't get it. Then they'd be spending all day long trying to get something else, and they couldn't book anything, or they couldn't book, rides go down. The biggest complaint was that they wouldn't be able to get what they wanted. It wasn't available. And then they'd be on their phone all day trying to get that or get something else.
Well,
what I heard.
especially if you paid for
what I
it
heard.
and now your rides aren't available. So this time you can book up to 3, and if you get what you want, then you can book it.
Exactly. Yep. It's working. It works very similar to Fast Pass Plus, except you're paying for it.
Right. Plus it's kind of a combination of Fast Pass Plus with pay and the individual Lightning Lane.
Now, my big question with this whole thing is, well, with Genie Plus, yeah. Well, I can't talk tonight. I wouldn't let Darlene talk before. Now I can't talk at all. See, Darlene, I make fun of myself too. So, Genie Plus, the way it worked, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. You had to purchase it the day of.
Right.
You go into
Yeah.
the park.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and that
7
was
a.m.
difficult too for
before
people
7
because
a.m.
they're fighting everyone who wants to who purchased it for the ride. So first come, first serve, and they can fill up quickly or break
We're
down
still
quickly.
doing that, only 7 days early now.
Right now, you can do it 7 days in advance. So people, if you're staying at a resort on Disney property,
Correct.
Right.
and if
Otherwise,
you're staying
it's
off
3
property,
days.
3 days. So I heard a podcast that I'm not going to say which one. Well, a vlogcast. I'm not going to say which one it was. I just happened to come across it on YouTube. It's one I never saw before, and I'll probably never watch again. Incredibly negative. They were saying that it's unfair to the people that are staying off property because they only have 3 days to book it, where you're giving an advantage to people on property.
Yes.
That's the way it was last time.
And you know,
Last time it was 60 days, 30 days.
but you know what I say to that? Disney with Genie Plus did create a class system for the haves and the have-nots. But
They still
you know
are.
what? I think people who are staying on property should be rewarded for staying on property. Is it fair? No, it's not. But I don't see a problem with it. If you guys
Me
disagree, feel
No.
free to chime in.
I mean, I'd ask somebody that doesn't always stay on property. I mean, we'll deal with it.
Yeah, you'll
My
have no
sister's
choice.
frustrated about it. My sister lives in Tampa. She's an annual pass holder. She's got to wait until 3 days. She goes, I'm not going to, if I wanted to take my son and granddaughter, I'm not going to be able to go and get the attractions we want to get because the people that are staying on site 7 days in advance are already taking them.
Yep, and that was the complaint on that vlogcast that I heard too, that they said the same thing, that people staying on property are going to eat up all the
And that's what her
passes.
fear is.
Well, it's going to be the same as it was before for Fast. I'm sorry, it's equivalent to Fast Pass Plus. Only you're paying for it.
Correct.
Right. Now, here's where the difference can come in, and this is what I question. Are they going to take 20 people from the lightning lanes first and then 2 people from the standby lane, or are they going to have equitable, I can't pronounce it. Boy, I'm having some night. Equitable distribution, where you're taking 4 from here, or maybe 4 from there. I don't think so. I think
No.
I agree.
No, they're going to do, everybody that pays for it's going to be able to go, and the people that are there with a daily ticket or an annual pass are going to have to wait in that line to force us to try to buy it or them to buy it.
I agree.
We
with
can't, we're not guaranteed. We don't know that because they changed some of the other things. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll do a 10-to-1 ratio. Who knows?
Well,
My fear is, what's that price going to be? Because if they're going to charge you $50 a day for that, you're not going to see as many people doing
What's
it.
Universal? 100?
Yeah,
More
something
than that. It's more than that.
Oh.
Yeah, but that is for every attraction,
It's
except
for
for
most.
Harry
It's
Potter.
for
You know
most
what?
attractions.
Mm.
I'm sorry, Darlene's right on this one. I think they're going to take a lot more people from the lightning lane than they are the standby.
Yeah. Oh, you should have
I
seen
hope
the
they prove
line.
me wrong.
I mean, the lines were horrible this weekend when I was there. I told Stuart already. We went into Epcot. The line for the Mexico ride, which just left me.
Three
But
Caballeros.
yeah, it was all the way up, going out the door almost.
Yeah.
There isn't a Genie Plus for that, is it? I don't think there's even a Genie Plus for that.
I
That's
think
just a
there is.
standby
Wait,
line.
no, wait a minute. I'm sure
I'm
it's
not
standby.
sure if there is or
I
isn't.
think there's just
I-
standby.
It's only standby. That's just how busy it is.
Right. Yeah, they
And
don't have
was
a
going
tap thing
towards
there.
China. Yeah, China, 9 Dragons.
Yeah, they don't have the room for a lightning lane there.
No, it's a straight up. That's just the waiting. That's how long the line is for it.
Yeah, that was a lot of people in that ride because normally that's a walk on.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest complaint with any of the attractions is Frozen there, the way they handle that line.
Oh yeah, that
You
line's
go-
horrible.
You get on the standby line there, and if it says 40 minutes, you're not waiting 40 minutes. You're going to be there well over an hour. You could be there 2
Mhm.
hours. You get on the lightning lane, you're going to go right through. It's just how they work it there. Why, I don't know. But that's
Yeah,
how
I
they
got
work it.
again. I have a friend that's there right now, and they happen to I believe they used Genie Plus. They used virtual queue, and I think they also used an individual lightning lane as well. And I said, "How are the lines today?" And they said, "You know what? It's really not bad. We saw a ton of stuff." And I go, "Did you use Genie Plus?" He goes, "Yeah, we used all the bells and whistles." So they literally were able to do everything by doing that, and probably spent, well, I don't know how much was the lightning lane for Tron. Is it $18, $15, depending on how much it is? Um, that's what they used, and they said, yeah, they got out a ton of stuff.
You know, one of the other things I heard the marketing research said, and this is all coming from people who did not do the marketing research. I want to be clear on that Disney's concerned that people don't like Genie Plus, and it's got nothing to do with what they're paying for. It's just the way, you know, the name and everything else.
It's
So they
just not
decided
working.
they're, you know, I think they do care about their guests, but they see guests are down, and part of the blame is it's the way Genie Plus operates. People just aren't coming. They've
don't
heard
think
it
people
all
are not
about it.
coming to the Genie Plus. I that might be correlation, not causation. I think it
I
has
agree.
more to do with price.
Yeah, I think it's more than that.
That's a good part. You know, when you're paying 174 to 200, 199, $200 a ticket, plus on top of that, trying to pay for a family of 5, it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And I think they are really trying to find a resolution to keeping that money stream flowing in, but keeping guests happy at the same time. And that's a very difficult process or accomplishment for them if they can succeed at that.
Especially when other parks are doing like specials. Busch Gardens just had a thing. Tickets were what, $59.99.
Yeah,
Half off.
I think we discussed this on the last episode.
The last one.
Yeah, it's just, I think people are just staying away this year for various reasons.
Yeah. Because next year, yeesh.
Yeah, next year Epic Universe comes and Disney's behind the 8 ball on that. I don't care what they say. They're behind the 8 ball on that. And
They
they've
are, 'cause
got
I'm going.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's
I
right.
said, yeah, they are, because I'm going.
Yep. And I don't know how they get out in front of it. I do believe there is some crossover of Disney fans that will go to Epic Universe and will love it. But I think the fans that Disney or the guests that Disney go after are different from the Universal guests. Universal guests are the 18 to 35-year-old thrill seekers, where Disney's looking for the family vacationers. But I do think there is a crossover there, and I think it's enough where Disney should be worried. But do they have to be that worried? Apparently not, because we haven't gotten much from them in the last couple of years at D23.
I think the one thing that's going to excite people that get this new thing is the caveat that there's going to be photo perks where you're going to get photo pass with that Genie
They
Plus.
do that now. They do that now.
Oh, do they?
So, yeah, any of the. So my sister has Photo Pass, and she's part of our group. However, that only works for like with a photographer. So like when I look at those pictures that I took with my sister, it'll say Photo Pass all over them. However, since we did Genie Plus, I think we did it every day. Now that I think about it, every one of the photos that we took on an attraction, we were able to download for free.
The attraction photos are included, yes.
So there's your perk right there, is that we don't do a lot of the standing in front of the castle and have our picture taken. We can have them taken with our camera, but it's the attraction photos are included.
Mm. Mm.
Well, John, what do you see as the biggest plus and the biggest obstacle they're going to have with this new system, which is very familiar?
I think one of the things that people wanted to do the most was to be able to make their selections ahead of time, as well as to be able to pick the time.
Yeah.
So right now with Genie Plus, you get the next available time.
Yeah.
You can't pick the time, and you have to do it 7 a.m. while you're
Yeah.
on vacation. I think, well, one of the challenges we didn't talk about here yet doesn't apply to us, but applies to people that live outside the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's not
don't get it.
available to people who live outside the U.S.
No.
So people from Canada, the UK, some of the
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they have to be inside the United States to pay for it because they're not doing the transaction fee for it.
Right.
Because the
Mm.
conversion and everything.
Slick.
Mhm.
That's what I call
Yeah.
Disney on that one.
Well, Kurt mentioned, there's some assumptions that, or surmising that it's because of all of the different countries and how they'd have to do the translation of taxes, value-added taxes, translations of and financial requirements for the different countries. But that's just, presuppositions by people.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Darlene? Do you see any benefits or minuses with this new system?
I think it'll be better for like all the friends of mine that have complained about Genie Plus over the years. I think this will give them a better option of getting the rides that they want. So maybe they'll try it again. And the fact that, they can get maybe the lightning lane easier. I'm just wondering, like
Yeah.
we're all wondering, what is this all going to cost?
Yeah. They haven't said
Are
that.
they- do we know? I guess it has to be going back to a one price fits all if you can use it as a park hopper.
I have a feeling that I think if I remember correctly, I read somewhere that it might be tiered for holidays and stuff.
Yep. I
Right,
have a
but it's
feeling-
it's one price fits all. In other words, right now they're tiering it as far as Animal Kingdom is 17, 19 at Epcot, 23 over at DHS, and 27 over at Magic Kingdom / all parks. I wondered if they were going to say, okay, it's no matter what, no matter where you're going, you're getting this. You're going to be paying $30.
$30.
Yeah, you know
Which
what?
sucks. It was 15 when it came out.
What I heard, and I don't know how true it is, but I'll mention it anyway. I heard that it's going to start at 25 and tier up and possibly tier down if it's very slow. But it looks like 25 might be the starting point. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's closer to 15.
It's going to be
I
at least
don't-
25.
Yeah.
Well, one of the problems with it being 15, and I think this was seen when it first came out, is you had half the people walking in the parks buying it, and
Yep.
so that just floods the market and makes it tough again for you to get what you want if you are paying. There's not a good answer. If it's
No, there isn't.
there's challenges if it's less, and there's challenges if it's more.
So this is one thing we probably need to find out, but I don't remember anything being said that you can buy it day of.
Yeah, you still could but
Right.
again, you could
Available.
see if you could
That
get
would
what
be
you
nice
want.
if
And
they
then,
didn't allow that though.
oh, they're going to.
Yeah, they will.
Have to.
Especially for people that had the chance to do it 7 days before.
Yeah, but that's just giving them a head start on it. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
they could do it the same day. They,
Yeah. If
Yeah.
there's availability, they're going to sell them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the question is how many are they going to make available,
Right.
and at
Exactly.
what price point?
Right.
I would be okay if they did a ratio of lightning lane to standby line 60-40%. I'd be okay with that because then you're allowing the majority of the people that purchased it to get in ahead of the standby line, but you're giving enough people in the standby line to enter without waiting. While you see 20, 30, 40 people going in.
Well, if they do those higher ratios, what they have to do is they have to sell less
Mhm.
of the lightning lanes.
But then they're a for-profit company, and
Well,
are they going
but
to,
that's
you know,
right. So that's the pressure.
Yeah.
So if the more that you allow standby and you continue to allow high numbers of lightning lane, then the lightning lane members are standing in line, which is what they were paying not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tough. There is no good balance there.
No, there isn't. I think this whole thing with this paying, this pay for attractions, it's already priced. The cost, not just going beyond this, has the cost of going to the parks, the resorts, everything else has priced out a segment of the population. It's already done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now you have people going who can just afford to go, and you have other people going that money's no object. And that's that's not what Disney's all about. Well, that's what the Disney company is all about. That's not what Disney is all about. And there's a big difference there. It's like you walk through those gates and it's supposed to be this magical place and you forget all your troubles and worries. But now you've created the haves and have-nots. And it's very evident on the lines because you have the people who are on the standby line complaining about the people who are on the lightning lanes getting right in while they're standing there because they couldn't or wouldn't pay for the cost to, Genie Plus and soon to be Lightning Lane.
It all depends on the time of year that you're going and what the weather's like and everything else. So,
yeah, it does. But
it's definitely a lot lighter right now than it has been in the past.
All right, but do you think this change a year from now will have more people coming back because it's something that will benefit guests more? Or
No, because the ticket price is going up. So absolutely not. That's the number one complaint.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's going up everywhere.
Yeah, but they are. So we have to get past the fact that Disney is charging for it. That's not going away. The question is the multi and single pass lightning lane program better appealing to the guests than the current Genie Plus?
I believe so, yeah.
But I believe it will be better, but will it be enough to tell? Because you know how social media is.
We won't know until we try it.
Right.
Right, but there are a lot of people out there that are going to put things on social media or do a video cast, a podcast, and say, this is what's going on there now. Don't come. And a lot of people will listen. Or you might get somebody who'll say, wow, it's wonderful. Come, it's great.
It's going to happen either way. I mean,
They
no matter
can't
what Disney does, you're going to have people that are going to complain about it because it isn't what they remember from their first trip in 1983.
Right.
Kind of like what's going on with Tiana right now. With Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you've got those that love it and those that are like,
it's not Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain, scrap it. It's a poor rendition, and it's a poor.
Well, you know what's going on there? Do you remember Maelstrom? Everybody said, "Oh, it was my favorite attraction," but you could walk on that any time of day, any time of year, and they were complaining about how, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're putting Frozen there." And now Frozen, it's one of the most difficult rides to get on if you're on a standby line.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, the complaint was when they took down Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, because Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was always popular and always had a line, and they still tore it out to put in Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Damn Pooh.
Yeah. Well, nobody wants to go to hell. So.
Well.
So
at least not while on vacation.
Right. Exactly.
I miss it. You already felt like you were in it anyway.
When looking at their website to, what you're going to be able to choose for your multi-pass, you're going to get your choice of Big Thunder, Jungle Cruise, Peter Pan's Flight, Space Mountain, Tiana's Bayou. That's what they're saying right now. It's not
That's tier 1.
That's for the one, and then
that's tier 1. Yeah.
Your two other choices, or all three from this group are the Barnstormer, Buzz Lightyear, Dumbo, Haunted Mansion, Small World, Mad Tea Party, The Magic Carpets with Aladdin, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Mickey's Her Magic, Monsters Inc., Pirates, Tomorrowland Speedway, Under the Sea, with The Little Mermaid. A lot
Okay,
of
everyone
those
needs to
are
book
walk-
Mickey's Thriller Magic. Everyone needs to book Mickey's Thriller Magic. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, but it is important. It is important. I don't like how it affects me that I only get one tier one choice,
Mhm.
but it's important to do it that way because it better distributes the
Mhm.
crowds. And
right.
it better distributes people who don't want to have to wait in lines as long. So if you distribute it, then it's going to have some effect on guest satisfaction. If everybody is trying to go to the 3 attractions, those attractions are going to have the really, really long lines. And
Well, and this is the thing. You know darn well that everybody's going to flock to Haunted Mansion,
Mhm.
Pirates of the Caribbean, and probably what's the other one that's a big line all the time?
Jungle
Um,
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
no, Jungle Cruise
there.
is in your top tier.
Space Mountain.
Wow.
Space
be-
Mountain's not on here.
Tron. Well, Tron
Oh
is.
yeah, it was. It was in the first tier.
top tier, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
top tier.
Yeah.
So the only ones that are really going to be a big problem of people trying to get on still will be Haunted Mansion and Pirates. All the
So
other
how
ones
this
are
is going to work also, you can only pick one of those top tiers, and then 2 of the middle tiers,
yeah,
however you
and
want to
it's
call
going
it.
to be Haunted
So-
Mansion and Pirates. Those are the two most
So-
popular.
The way I can't believe I'm giving this away. The way this is going to work is people are going to be booking those bottom tier ones first, and then get their higher tier at a little bit later time. So that as soon as you walk into those second tier one, boom, you've just done your attachment to it and scanned in. Right away, you can book a tier 1. Even though you want to only do tier 2, you can now book a tier 1 for later in the day, whenever that time's available. But you got to be careful with that because you could be booking tier 2s all day long
Yeah.
and not have to worry about the tier 1 if it's
Yeah.
This is
Right on
not a
board.
perfect system. It's Disney is never going to be able to come up with a perfect system.
Fast
might
pass
be the
is
only way I
perfect.
could ride some of these attractions though. When it's
I'd
busy.
like
I
to,
agree with Lottie.
Fast
know,
passes.
I think something that Disney's doing here too is they're giving, and I alluded to it earlier a little bit, they're giving an advantage to people staying on property. And we've had episodes where we've discussed how, Disney's gotten away from that because they got rid of Magical Express. How do you keep people on property? This is a way to do it. Because if you're giving people who are staying off property 3 days and you're giving people on property 7 days, and the people off property are staying off property because they're going to Universal, they're going to SeaWorld, they're getting punished for not spending a week at Disney. So I think it's very clever on their part to do something like this.
Do you want to really make people stay on site? Either include it like they do at Universal, it's included in your stay, or give a good discount to it.
Well, do you think they're including it, or you think they're paying for it, not knowing it because it's included in the price of everything else?
But it
No,
would
they-
be included with us at these DVC if they did something like that.
They're
Yeah.
only included at Universal if it's the equivalent at Disney would be the deluxe resorts. So you
There you
can't.
go.
It's not included
my
in
point.
value resorts.
Yeah.
You have to
But
pay
that-
extra for it at
So
the value and moderate resorts.
what are that's like Portofino,
Hard Rock.
Hard Rock. Okay.
Yeah, the ones that are
Mhm.
$500 a night, $500-$600 a
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I could only afford a 3-day stay there.
One of the things we haven't talked about here is there are some things that are no longer included that are included today in Genie Plus, and that's character meet and greets, parades, and nighttime shows.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think that's a good thing for guests, that it's not included.
Mm.
It
I
puts
think-
everybody on an equal playing field.
Right.
I think the one of the biggest perks for me is the name, right? Genie
Oh,
Plus
God.
and Lightning. I'm like, it tells you better what it is that you're buying as opposed to the other one, because there were always questions. I always got questions
Mhm.
from people on what the difference is.
I don't
And
like Lightning Lane either.
I mean, Lightning Lane is
It's
neither
better.
here nor there,
It's-
but there's a difference between the multi-pass and
Mhm.
single pass.
Yes.
People actually know what they're purchasing.
It's easier to explain, certainly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I would have liked them to have done was bring back, but they're not going to do it because they would have had to buy all new signs. Bring back the name Fast Pass Plus, just charge for it. But like I said, they'd have to do all new signs. Here, they already have the signs, and that's why we're getting Lightning Lane, multi-pass, Lightning Lane, single pass.
Yeah.
Well, right, because that queue is called a lightning lane today, and they're
Mhm.
just simplifying the nomenclature. Right.
Correct.
Mhm.
Well, it'll be a moot point because in a few years they'll change it to something else.
Oh, goodness.
So who else automatically, as soon as you hear multipass, you think of the Fifth Element? Multipass, multipass, multipass.
Sorry, I've never seen it, Kurt.
Never
Me
seen
either.
Never
it.
seen the movie.
I've never
Nope.
seen it
That's
either.
Bruce Willis.
Oh yes,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
and Mila Jovovich, multipass.
Nope, sorry.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Maybe
Rated
that's what
R,
it-
little kids. No kids. It's definitely rated R. There's nudity in there.
It must have been somebody who saw the movie who came up with the name.
Right?
It could be. My friend right away, as soon as he found out about it, he sent me that meme right away. He's like, multipass. It's a multipass.
Mhm.
Sorry.
So I haven't seen anything about it, but is the regular Genie going away?
Yes.
Yes.
The
It's
free
all
Genie
gone.
is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who ever used it, but
I kind of thought it was supposed to be helpful with crowd control if the Genie planned your day and they could figure out what. Yeah, it never really did for me what they said it was supposed to.
I
No.
I never
I
thought it
tried using
would,
that.
because it wasn't doing what the guest wanted. It was doing what Disney wanted.
Yeah.
That's right.
crowd
Disney was
control.
trying
Yeah,
to
crowd
control where you are the entire time you were in the park.
Yeah.
And they still are to a large extent.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change. But I think they gave up a little bit because they know guests don't like it.
It was artificial, and there was just never a chance in my mind that it was ever going to stick with people.
No,
I
they
just
used
wanna-
it like I used it. We literally would use it to flick through and say, hey, it's only a 10-minute wait. I'm sorry, it's a 13-minute wait over at the Haunted Mansion. Let's go now, because that means it's a walk-on. So that's how we used it. We never used it for them planning it out. It just showed us what the times were.
Well, yeah, so that part of it, but that's not Genie per se. That's just their
No.
all their attraction listings. But the recommendations are the things that just weren't really helping anybody.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I love the way it was supposed to work. We don't want you over here because there are too many people. So you're not gonna know that we've taken away your free will and we're gonna move you over here. Just go there. How stupid did they think we were? I don't know anybody who used it the way it was intended to be used by Disney, but I'm sure there were people out there that did. And did it really benefit you? Maybe.
Oh, and there's so many people that were purchasing Genie Plus. That's where they were focusing.
Yep.
So
Show us the money.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. I hate the direction, and it's not just Disney; it's everywhere, where prices are going up, and you're forced to pay for something, but then it's not quite what you got 10 years ago because you got everything 10 years ago. Then it's been whittled down to like you're getting very little from what you got 10 years ago. But if you want that, it's extra for this, extra for that. The nickel and diming that's going on in this country with a lot of things, not just Disney.
But
is
that's not
outrageous.
inherent in the change from Genie Plus to the
No,
Lightning Lane.
no, because they've already done that.
Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. You had
Now,
I
some of
heard
those
those.
places.
I heard those discussions from last week. I was listening to them
right.
during my run, so I heard your
Some
comments.
some of those places that raised their prices are now bringing their prices back down. I don't see Disney doing that.
No, Disney will never
Busch
do that.
Gardens did.
Yeah, I can't see Disney doing that either. They'll give incentives to get more people in the parks as opposed to lowering prices to get people in the parks. Like you might see a temporary resort discount, like just
Well,
mentioned earlier.
40%, like Jess was
Yeah.
saying, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, free
That's a
dining.
lever they can pull that's temporary, and they can fit it into the time where they want it, and that only makes sense.
You know,
That's
Kurt
what
brought
they
up
would
some-
do.
oh yeah, Kurt brought something up before. You know, why not put an all-inclusive package together for guests staying on property? You get the resort, you get the dining, and you get Lightning Lane multi-pass and single pass, all included. I mean, you're paying for it; it'll cost extra.
For $9,000.
But well, yeah. But you know, you give it to the guests at a discounted rate, and they can always take that away if they see a lot of people are coming into the parks.
Mm.
It could be a temporary or short-term promotion.
It's what they do with the dining plan when they
Yeah.
tack on the free dining plan, but you're paying rack rates. Versus if you actually get the discount on the rack rates, you could pay for the dining plan and save money. So it sounds good until you do the math and realize it doesn't work. But
Yeah.
if they want to tack on free, well, and again, being DVC members, guys, I don't know if we're ever going to see that, to be honest. Now that I
Right.
think about it. But it'd be nice if they did, or at least give us a discount on it. Hey, when we sign up that we're going to the parks, you can get a Magic Plus band for like $10 off or whatever the going rate is. Why couldn't they do that? You're staying on site. We'll take $10 off of whatever the price is going to be for this.
Mhm.
So I'll pay again. They want to make it 25. Give us $10 off for staying at the deluxe or DVC resort. You're paying 15 instead of the 25 because I'm paying a boatload of money up front for all those points that I've already bought anyways.
Oh, right.
So it's not
Yeah.
like we're giving them any money.
Nope.
So they've got our money before we've even decided to go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they do.
One thing we did not mention about the new program is there are no tiers at Animal Kingdom. There's just
No,
one group of attractions.
Right.
Yeah.
And Epcot really doesn't have that many tiers. Hollywood
Not with
Studios
Cars
got a
now.
little bit more with having all the new rides that they've got,
Yeah,
because
the problem I have- oh, sorry. Go ahead, Donnie.
they've got their rides, even like Slinky Dog's been around for a while. You can never ride that line's
it's always gone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always gone. On Genie Plus, it's always gone.
Yeah.
So we
Uh,
went and did Millennium Falcon as our first one. We waited in the line when we first got there for for Rise of the Resistance. Left and went straight on to Millennium Falcon to Smuggler's Run. As soon as we touched our vans, we started making the next reservation. Slinky Dog was gone. The park had just officially opened, and it
Yeah.
was gone
Wow.
for the entire day. And
Yeah.
that's how so you got to grab something else instead.
So I think Hollywood Studios has a big challenge there because there aren't that many attractions to begin
Right.
with, and
Mhm.
that
Exactly.
affect everything. Sorry, Lottie, you were going to say something.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
No, you're fine. I was agreeing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, we don't know how they're going to operate the new system. My guess is it's going to operate very similar to Genie Plus. You know, when you're online. I hope not.
Mm,
I hope there will be more equitable distribution between the Lightning Lane and the standby line, but I don't expect it.
That's not what they were trying to solve. The things that
But
we
that's something they need to solve because
talked-
guests are not happy with the way it is.
I don't disagree that people are dissatisfied with the cost, but it's not going to change. So
Right. The people
what's
that are
the
paying,
point in trying to?
well, the people that are paying the money have other concerns than the people who are not. The people who are not paying the money don't want to wait on the lines as long as they are. And
Right.
because they're not paying the money, we don't know how much Disney cares or doesn't care. But if those people, if that whole segment of park goers say, you know what, we can't afford to pay for Lightning Lane, multi-pass, single pass, whatever you want to call it, we're not coming back because we didn't have a great time.
Well, and until that happens, there's not going to be a change.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
So
I just hope it doesn't turn back. I just hope it doesn't turn back into the Lightning Lane fiasco that it was, because that was a royal mess at the end.
Yeah.
Because it was broken. So hopefully they fixed it to where it's not broken anymore. And that's why some of the attractions aren't on there. You can't make every attraction on that list. You can't do it. It's got to be the E-ticket and the D-ticket attractions. Everything else is up for grabs.
How long ago do you think they started working on this?
Oh, a couple of years ago.
As soon as, did you say a couple of days ago?
No, a couple of years ago.
I was going to say, as soon as Genie Plus was released and they went, well, this isn't working the way we thought it was going to, bam, we got to start fixing it now.
Exactly.
So that was their research. And they threw it together quick because they had to after everything going on with, they didn't spend that long making Genie Plus. It was a couple of years, I think.
You know what I find interesting? Genie Plus name is going away at Disneyland, but it's still going to operate the same way under Lightning Lane. That's
it's different out there.
Yeah, it's different today with Genie Plus from Walt Disney World, and it's going to continue to be different, right?
Yeah. I just find it interesting that they're getting the name change, but they're not getting any rule changes where we're getting a bunch of rule changes here.
The behavior and the nature of the guests is different at Disneyland.
Absolutely.
Versus Walt Disney World.
You're right. Disneyland is mostly Californians going to their local park.
Lots of magic key holders, or those that were able to get them. You can't even buy them right now unless it's renewal.
Yeah. It's funny, while we're doing the show, I'm hearing the bugs hitting off from the window. There goes another one.
And we are officially done with cicadas up here. There's a scattering of them here or there, but it's much quieter outside now for us.
Are they well Adas now?
They're dead Adas.
You can mute me now, Stuart.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see what our listener and viewer, singular for that,
And our viewer,
think about these new changes coming to Disney World. Are they excited for it? And I don't want to hear from anybody who lives down here, because we don't count in this. Right, Darlene?
Maybe our one listener and one viewer could actually come onto the show so we know who that person is.
Yeah. It's the missing link.
They're the missing. There you go.
Don't.
He's gone. She's gone.
Don't alienate our one listener.
Yeah. Why? I alienate everybody else. Oh boy. I hope this works. I do believe it will be better.
Yeah, I don't think it's a question of working. I think it's a question of, is there improvement? And we all believe that it's not going to be a huge game changer. But if it minimizes or cuts down on the amount of confusion, if it makes people feel a little more comfortable that they're going to get what they want to, I think that is better than what they have today.
All right. Well, nobody cares what you have to think. I care about what Lottie has to think. She stays off property most of the time. How do you feel about this whole thing? Really feel about it?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I don't care. I mean, this really doesn't apply to me because my family and I are blessed enough to be able to pretty much go to the parks when we feel like it. And so if I don't ride Slinky Dog this time, I'll ride it next time. It's not a big deal,
right.
For us. I agree with you in the sense that we priced it out of the reach of a lot of folks. Um,
Mhm.
those are the folks that, they're going on this once in a lifetime vacation, and they
Yeah.
think they need to purchase this in order to experience all the things.
Mhm.
Those are the folks that I want to hear from.
Yeah. So right, because you're spending thousands of dollars already for the resort and for tickets to get into the park. Then you've got to budget in food, however that may be, whether it's staying on property to eat your meals or getting out of the parks and going someplace else. And then you've got to pay extra to just get on the attractions that used to be included.
Included.
How do you tell your 8-year-old son or 5-year-old daughter, I'm sorry, but we've got to wait online all day, so we may not get to see Cinderella or Snow White or Tiana for that matter?
Right. I know some folks who posted a picture online in front of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. They scheduled that trip in order to be able to ride it, and they never got on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And that's
So
I know there were delays
That's
this
the
morning
problem.
with the virtual queue when it came time to go in. It was delayed. Now it did reopen or open at a later time, so they were able to get on it. But
Well, but that's not completely Disney's fault. I mean,
no,
there's such demand for it for being brand new.
they're
That's
still
always
working
the
out the
way when there's a
kinks.
new attraction.
But even trying to get into this weekend, Guardians of the Galaxy was gone at 7 a.m.
that's
Literally
that's almost every day, right?
That's daily.
And
gone.
I don't usually I didn't buy Genie Plus, but when I'm at Epcot, I'm going to buy Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to buy a Lightning Lane because it is my favorite ride, and I have to ride it while I'm there. But that's the
Now,
only one that I've ever purchased.
I did a virtual queue on the day we went to Epcot on our last trip, and my number was called at 9 a.m. So it was boom, let's go.
Yeah, you're lucky.
But
We
you could
got
do
September,
if
baby. 10th row in
if you get
September.
really
Woo!
right. That's one. But you can get lucky. I've done it a couple times where I got virtual queue and then purchased Lightning Lane later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's option
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah, not for long though.
Are they taking away the virtual queue? They didn't say they were.
No, they didn't.
Well, are you going to be able to purchase both now?
Well, they said they were
Well,
still
not
keeping
purchase
around the
both.
virtual queue.
Cosmic Rewind is the lightning lane, the single lightning lane at Epcot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
That's
So I
But
can
good.
still.
if it's not broke, why would you fix it? Keep that virtual queue around because it's working great. That's keeping the line flowing. And
But if
throughout
they
the
can-
day, it opens up again where you can actually, if things are going ahead of schedule, you can actually book it in the middle of the day.
At
I've heard
1
people
p.m.
saying that.
7 and 1.
But you know what? If they can
Even
make money,
even randomly.
if they can make money off the single lightning lane pass for that, why not?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with it, but that seems to be where it's headed.
I'm just saying what's going on right now with it, though. They literally,
No, I know.
you got 7
certainly.
a.m. and 1
I'm
p.m.
not disagreeing
but
with you.
Even outside of that, like it should be 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you could book it. If it's going as efficiently as it's supposed to, as long as it doesn't shut down.
How many times have you seen companies where, they look at things and they say, everything's working great, but let's try this instead, and they totally F it up?
Yeah, but right now Disney's already know they're walking a tightrope right now. They're trying to fix some things. They're not going to break what's already working well. You can't change too much, or it's you just said you were going to give this to us, and now you're breaking it.
But companies do that all the time, and why should Disney be immune to that? It might happen. We don't know, but they'll fix it. If they see they broke something if they break something that wasn't broken, then they'll go back and correct it. But if they can make money off of this, it is a for-profit company. I think they're going to try.
Of course. Of course.
It doesn't mean we have to agree with it or like it. I'm not going to talk about Disney here with it. I'm going to use it as a generalization. How many times have you worked for an employer who, you could see right away what the problems are, but they don't want to hear it? A catastrophe has to happen for them to fix it. Well, with theme parks, not just Disney, but any theme park, guests and the employees know what's going on. They can see it if they're there often enough. But it takes a long time for any changes that should be made to occur, and that's what we're seeing now with the Lightning Lane multipass and single pass. They're hearing guests, they're hearing their employees, and they're trying to fix it. But at the same time, they've got to run a company. They've got to maintain the profits at a level that they're happy, which is making as much money as you can. So they're weighing everything, and sometimes we're going to like what they do, sometimes we're not. But then we have the choice to either go or not, and to purchase it or not.
That's how a market economy works. You like the product, you buy it. If you don't like the product, you don't.
Yeah.
And they're hurting, so they don't want to piss off more people.
But they're not hurting in the parks as much as you think.
We just talked completely about how the levels are down
Everywhere. Yes, because this is a Disney podcast, but everywhere is hurting. It's down everywhere. Darlene mentioned SeaWorld.
But again, we just mentioned everything is down. If everything is down, why would you make something worse? It's not going to bring people back in the park if you then go, we're really sorry, here, we're going to do this. And we're going to take this away then too at the same time.
Well, what do you think they're making worse?
If you took away a virtual queue that was working well just because you introduced something else, to change the way you're getting it, if they're changing Genie Plus, they're not changing a virtual queue.
Kurt, think of the executives at Disney World. They can make money off of those attractions. Why wouldn't they?
I think virtual queue is going to go away.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see, because they said it was going to stay.
Temporarily, I bet. I'll bet by this time next year there'll no more virtual queues.
Yeah, because everything is gearing towards purchase Guardians of the Galaxy, purchase Rise of the Resistance, purchase a Lightning Lane, purchase. There won't be a virtual queue coming.
Darlene, can you please say purchase a couple more times, just so?
I know, right? Hey, I said it 3 times.
By the way,
should I write this on a Post-it, and then we'll see in 1 year what's going to happen? I'll post it here. Virtual queue gone.
By the way, I want to mention that from time to time, Darlene does live from the parks on Facebook, and she doesn't have me around to interrupt her. So look out for those videos. I'm sure there'll be more coming soon.
I try to do them. I'm going to tell you guys one thing. I would have went live yesterday for the drone show at Disney Springs, but I didn't get to see it until yesterday for the first time because it was torrential downpours and they canceled it Friday and I missed Saturday. So we went yesterday. I got to tell you, you got to see it in person. The video does nothing for it. I'll load it up on the Facebook page for you guys, but I'm telling you right now, in person is the way to see it. So before September 2nd or 4th, 2nd?
That's my birthday is when it closes.
Okay.
Yes, the kids have already determined that we are going to see it before September 2nd. Right?
Okay.
They think
we passed on it.
Do you think Disney will extend it or bring it back?
Oh yeah, I think this is just a trial run for a larger show later.
Okay,
I think they're going to move it to Animal Kingdom.
That'd be perfect.
My prediction. Should I write that up there too?
You should.
I don't know.
You know what would be a great place for it in Animal Kingdom? They've got that big area there where they had that kite show.
Where Rivers of Light.
Rivers of Light.
Yeah.
But
Perfect for it.
Okay, listen to this. Have you seen it, Stuart?
No, I'm waiting until all the kiddies go back to school before I go.
Okay, so the way these drones, and I mean, there's a ton of drones.
400 of them.
I thought it was 8.
Oh, maybe it is 8.
Off the side of Saratoga Springs, off of like the surface parking lot. They come just flying in. It's huge. I don't think that lagoon is big enough to hold it.
Hmm.
Part of
And
the
we-
problem
and I
with that also is if
The-
one
the
of the
animal-
drone decides to die, it's gonna fall into the lagoon.
Mm.
And we have seen video of the drone starting to say, "I'm tired. I'm melting." The batteries go out. It happens. I don't think they want to lose it in the lagoon.
Oh, they lose it in the lagoon over, and
Is that where they're falling into now?
yeah, it's right over the lake. Literally right over the lake. It's between Saratoga and House of Blues and Summer House. It's like right there.
Gotcha.
So they lose it in the lake or they lose it to concrete. Either way, it's toast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but I mean, like I said, it's a beautiful show. Beautiful show.
I would love to see it in Animal Kingdom if they moved it over there. I think it'd be perfect.
I just don't think they can with the animals
Yeah.
and the birds that fly around and
So
stuff.
is it noisy at all?
No.
No, I think
Not that far
Animal
away.
Kingdom can handle it.
They could do it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do it in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
I picture them doing it over the Tree of Life somehow.
They do it over the castle in Disneyland Paris.
Paris,
Now,
yeah.
Oh, do they?
France versus US have different, legislation around safety, but they do it right behind the castle in Disneyland Paris.
No, here we've got DeSantis. What he says goes.
All right, that's it. Chill over.
That's it. We're gone. DeSantis said we're out of here.
I doubt he's ever heard of us.
Oh, I'm sure he hasn't.
No.
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Lightning Lane, multi-pass, and single pass. I look forward to the haters online and those who love it online and those who are like, oh, all right. Do I think it's going to work the way Disney wants it to work? Yes, that doesn't mean it'll be a success. They'll make a lot of
That
money.
depends on how much they price it.
Yep, exactly.
I hope they put it out sooner. I mean, it's got to be coming out soon because this is supposed to go into effect on July 24th.
That's when it's coming out.
May.
Yeah, that's an odd date to pick, July 24th. You figure
Yeah.
they would start it.
A Wednesday.
Yeah, start on a Monday, beginning of a month,
Right. So
first Monday. Of the
roughly
month.
2 weeks from now, they'll have to start releasing the dates on the app for people to make those that are staying on property to make their reservations.
So if you're staying on property and you're at day 7, you can make reservations for the park that day. But then you've got to wait another day to make
No.
reservations. No, you can make it
No.
for all the parks.
All the parks.
Your whole stay.
Okay.
Yep.
Your
Yeah,
whole
that's
stay.
good.
So we're
That
still
makes
kind of
sense.
getting burned by that. If we come in if you come in on a Sunday instead of a Saturday, anyone because most people go from Saturday to whatever, so they start because they start their vacations on the weekend. So someone or like my friends came in on a Thursday, anything Thursday they could just start booking 7 days
Yeah.
out.
Well, I know a lot of people come down here, not necessarily go to the parks on Friday, but they'll get down here and get into the resort on a Friday and start their park trips on Saturday.
Yeah, we just did that. We came in on a Saturday and we started our park on Sunday. So
I think Disney should hire Darlene and let her police all the reservations. No reservation for you.
I tell you.
yeah, but all of a sudden Darlene's going to have these really nice extra cars, I see the bribes coming in all of a sudden now.
Hey.
She didn't deny it.
All right. Anybody want to add anything else to this before we? I hope we've helped people out there understand it better. I don't know. We don't always agree with each other here, but we respect each other's opinions. as we do yours. And we'd love to hear your opinions too, especially from our one listener and viewer.
Hmm.
And if you
Is
do
it, are
want
they
to
two
listen,
separate people? I don't know.
yeah,
one
I don't
listener
either.
from-
I don't either. But anyway, give us a thumbs up, please. It helps us out. It helps us reach more people so they can hate us just as much as you might. um, if you subscribe to us on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate that. Also helps us out immensely. And that's it. I've got nothing else to say except I hope everybody celebrating has a very happy 4th of July. And stay safe. Don't mess around with those fireworks. It's not worth it. I think we gave them enough fireworks here tonight. But all right, everybody, be safe, be yourself. Bye.
Good night, everybody. Keep all those fingers intact.
See you real soon.
Well, we're talking about lightning, so I've got to go tonight with life is a highway. I want to ride it all night long. And hopefully the line isn't too long, and it's not too long till you come back and see us again. Good night, everybody.
Have a magical night. Stay safe. Pack your ponchos, your sunscreen, and watch out for those fireworks.